Hotel Staffing and HR, in conjunction with PatriotTV.live, bring you Play Harder Radio, the premier patriotic sports and BS talk show from America's Gulf Coast. Things that matter in the world of sports and things that don't matter to anyone. It's just Faja's opinion. Where the F-bomb is allowed, but frowned upon. This is Play Harder Radio. And now, your host, James Grant.
Do I know Donald Trump? Is Donald Trump coming over to my home for dinner? Do I go golfing? Any of his courses? Don't know nothing about that man's personal life. Doesn't affect me. Do you know Barack Obama? Barack Obama coming over your house for dinner? Barack Obama playing cards with you and your boys and hanging out playing dominoes with you? Huh? You not? Do you know Joe Biden? Joe Biden coming over your house? Drive some of your antique cars that he drive at his house? You going over his house? Am I going over Donald's house? Let's look at the reality of this, of what I'm talking to you about this morning. These people are not your friends. Their policies are coming to your house. They are going to be at your table. Their policies, not their personal life, not their tweets, not them flying to Saudi Arabia, not them not having weapons of mass destruction none of that is coming to your house. Their policies is coming to your house. That's why it is very, very important that we stop voting for so much of who we like and start voting for the experience of the job. This is a job that these people are being voted into. You want a stern person that knows the world. Sorry, DeSantis, you may be the next man, but we know that Donald Trump's track record for our economy, which comes to our dinner table, okay? Comes to our dinner table. This guy's not my friend. Never met him. Don't know him. Read a lot of books about him. I do read. Okay, read a lot of books about him, about what he was and what he is and all that kind of stuff. Read a lot of books about Joe Biden, about what he is and what he done did. Oh man, believe me, 3 times worse than what Trump has done. Okay, Joe Biden has done. But I don't judge him on that. I judge him on what's coming into my door, what's coming into my home. Okay, high taxes, abortion rights are wrongs, I call them. We shouldn't even be talking about that. How can you talk about killing a kid? I love kids. I got all kinds of, bring your kid to me, man. Carry him for 9 and bring him to me. Sign him over to me. I love kids. Every last one of them. I ain't never seen an ugly one.
I've seen some ugly ones.
I don't even know why we having that conversation, but all this is coming to my home, to my table. Okay? When they make those decisions, they are affecting my home. Their policies. Higher taxes, giving my hard-earned tax money away to foreign countries. Okay, instead of repairing our infrastructure here. In my home, I can't do charity until my home is settled, till my home is strong. Then I give. That's the way you give. You got to get this strong first. That's what Donald Trump was doing. That's why I voted for him. That's why I support him. Has nothing to do with his personality. Nothing to do with his tweets. I don't care about that. That doesn't come into my home. His policies does. Okay? His policies does. Talking to Iraq, talking to Iran. This dude is talking to all our enemies and making deals with our enemies and people who has hated us for years.
Walking into Korea.
Get woke.
Yeah.
Hey, welcome back to another week of Play Harder Radio.
Yeah.
Stan McDaniels with me tonight, candidate for Escambia County Board of Commissioners District 4.
Yeah, that I've officially lost.
That you officially lost. I don't know how you say that delicately. I guess we don't need to say it delicately. You knew what you were into.
Yeah, well, as an entrepreneur, I'm always doing the risk reward, thing in my head. And my mentor told me the best thing that ever happened to him when he ran was that he lost. So it was like a no risk situation,
Well,
So
do you liken yourself then to Liz Cheney and Abraham Lincoln? Are you think like you three are like the Three Musketeers of American politics?
Hell no. No. I mean, listen, I just changed my party affiliation to Libertarian. I've left the Republican Party. Love it or hate it, I've really always been a Libertarian. I changed to Republican in 2008 to vote in the primary for Ron Paul.
Right.
Okay, and I just never got around to changing it back, and so it was less than a year, so I couldn't change, and so I've changed it now. This is who I am.
You know what?
I think it better represents me.
I have to think about that. But see, well, we will get to all that. That's
Sure.
all good stuff to talk about because I believe I'm a libertarian too.
Yeah.
And but what he was saying there in our open,
Yeah.
it's about policies. It's not about black or white or female or male or gender or party it's about policy.
Policy,
it comes down to party with a lot of policy, of course, but you're not voting for the guy because of his personality.
No.
I'm not looking for him to be a role model for my children. I'm supposed to be a role model for my children. I mean,
listen, I don't agree with that because I think that these men and women that do politics, they should be role models for children, and they should be starting to get these people in front of the children in school. Like this should be part of the idea of what we're teaching our children about government. I mean, all I learned about was the 3 branches of government.
Well, at least you know what they are, unlike some of our Congress people. Remember AOC fumbling about the 3 branches of?
Oh gosh, I don't know how she got.
If there's not corruption in voting, how in the hell did AOC, Omar, who's the crackpot in Michigan?
Because of the marketing dollars that go behind it.
Well, you know what? You're right. It's George Soros, and that kind of thing. Money coming from those kind of places.
Sure.
Look at the AG work he's done in the United States and the destruction it's doing. It's mind-boggling.
Yeah, it's a terrible place to find ourselves.
And we had somebody like Ron DeSantis stand up to the crackpot in Tampa, and throw him out. And I guess he refused. Did you follow up? Are you real familiar with that situation? I guess the guy said he wasn't going to leave.
Well, I think he left, but he said he's going to come back or something. I mean, but
they were talking about forcefully, like, we'll drag you out.
Good luck.
Do what you got to do.
Okay. I mean, there's a lot of bad policymakers that need to be fired. And I don't see the voters firing all of them, but, it's because, when he talks about the friend, they're not your friend. And getting into politics here and actually throwing my name in the hat, I've actually made some friends. I've met a lot of people that aren't my friend, that's for sure. But I did make some friends, and I'm very happy about that. It's definitely enlarged me. But these guys don't care about you. The guys that are in there, they don't. They just care about the policy, the nonprofit, and whatever's going to get them to wherever they're headed in that group of guys that are in there.
Right.
It's establishment. Northwest Florida here is establishment, and they've got the voters and the money to get those voters.
Well, that's where I find that, last week we had Jordan Carr on the show, and you were out there listening and commenting. And so this week we got you. And so for guys like you and for Jordan, it's really tough to go up against Bender, who you went up against, and Alex, who Jordan was going up against, because Alex is a part of the Gates. I think he has the blessing of the Gates family.
Sure.
An organization.
Yeah. Well, he's coupled with a nonprofit too. So, that's part of the whole process of when you get in those offices to have that nonprofit. And, the county's even sent his nonprofit. Escambia County's even sent his nonprofit some money.
Wow.
Yeah.
What is his nonprofit?
On Bikes. It's not his, but he's on the board maybe or something. I mean, his picture's on the website.
So that's one of the things that I was thinking about. You said you were starting is that what Master Butler? So you haven't given up.
No, definitely not. I mean, I'm going to stay involved.
And you said you were starting to build a coalition or organization to.
Well, my dream is to build a national at-home service brand with Master Butler Service Corp. I've had the idea over 5 years now, and I've proven the concept here in Pensacola on a couple different products, and so I know this is the brand right here, the tuxedo T-shirt. It's going to be different. I mean, we have to build new corporations. I
like the patriotic aspect of it, Stan.
Thanks. I've got more ideas behind this too. It can be way more than just this one. But we've got to build the corporations of tomorrow that'll help fund some of these America First candidates.
Right.
Because they're not getting the funding. And to be honest, like, taxpayers shouldn't be having to foot an extra bill for a politician. They shouldn't have to compete with these corporations that have unlimited funds. I mean, look at it's crazy the amount of money just in Pensacola alone, in Escambia County. It's like right at $1 million for all the candidates, from county commissioner to city to school board and all the elected officials, ECUA. It's right at $1 million. That's $1 million that companies are putting in, the majority of, and then the people that have the big money around town
to support those candidates.
To support those big money candidates. Yeah.
Is Michelle Saltzman a big money candidate?
I haven't dug into her finances, so I don't know. I've heard some good things about her. I've had some decent conversations with her. I think she's doing the best with what she's got, but she didn't want to stand up for me. She's saying,
right.
I got myself into this, and I did. I mean, there's more than one way to change the law.
Right.
Become ungovernable.
Go ahead, expand on that.
Well, if there's an unjust law, I mean, that goes against the Constitution, especially, I think it's our duty to disobey.
10th Amendment.
Yeah, I mean,
correct. If it's not constitutional, if it's not given to the specifically to the Constitution, then it falls to the states, and if it's still not being handled, then it's the citizens' duty,
sure,
to change it.
Yeah.
Or
challenge it. That's what I'm doing. And so on August 30th is my next court date at the Escambia County Courthouse.
I don't know what that's about. Tell me what that's about. So
on July 4th this year, I decided to exercise my freedom in front of the courthouse on the corner of Main and is that Spring there? Or no.
The 2nd Street over?
Yes. No, it's not Spring. It's whatever it is. But Balin. Main and Balin. So I'm on the corner of Main and Balin. I had one person show up, and we had a conversation. It rained for a little bit. I started out at 9 a.m., and at 2:45 p.m. I was holding my pocket Constitution, and I was just waving and smiling at people, but I tucked my shirt in, and I do have my concealed weapons license, and I'm carrying, every day And so this is actually the first time I've tucked my shirt in since I got my concealed weapons license, and I made it to 2:45 when the Pensacola Police Department showed up and asked to relieve me of my weapon, and I said I'd rather not. And we had a conversation for a little over 30 minutes before they confiscated my firearm. And they didn't arrest me that day. They decided, because the sergeant went in and had a conversation with his higher up, and then he came back. He actually read the Second Amendment out of my pocket Constitution before they took my firearm. But then he said he was going to put a warrant in and see if the judge wanted to sign it. And so 4th of July was on a Monday, and that following Sunday they called me and told me that I had an active warrant for my arrest, and I turned myself in.
And so the reason they took your weapon was?
Because it is illegal by Florida state law to open carry a firearm. It's a misdemeanor offense.
Oh, okay. That's what you're saying by tucking your shirt in, it revealed your weapon.
Yeah, it revealed my weapon that I keep. I usually appendix carry, and it was a Beretta 40 cal,
What, because you believe that's your constitutional right?
Shall not be infringed. I mean,
Okay.
That's pretty hard to,
Right.
I mean, here we go. We got, this is Florida
That's
gun law.
mind-boggling. That book right there
Look at
is
that.
mind-boggling.
I mean, we're talking about one sentence here, And here we have this whole freaking book of Florida gun law. Does the law have to be this difficult?
It doesn't seem like it.
It doesn't seem like it to me either.
So I would be a fan of open carry. I'm a fan of open carry.
Well, I mean,
Some people are not. I got into it with a few people the other day talking about open carry. They think it opens it up for more problems in arguments and confrontations and
sure.
situations, which is it's a viable argument.
Well, I think that if somebody is open carrying, somebody else who maybe not, but is carrying, but not openly, might feel the need to actually have a conversation with that person, and make sure they're all good, And so, I mean, I'd say 999 times out of 1,000, I'd probably not want to open carry, but
Right.
So constitutional carry would allow you to do either, right?
To call a new law constitutional carry is a
Right.
joke.
Agreed.
It's laughable. I mean,
That
why do you got to call it that? It's the Constitution. It's there. It's written, and you got to make up another law. You got to put some more words in the book.
That's the same.
On the pallet. You know what I mean? The big old pallet that Trump was standing next to.
Just like that's the same thing for all the gun laws they want to enact.
Yeah.
Like the assault weapons ban or whatever. It's already illegal to kill somebody.
Well, duh.
So
It's like hate laws.
what is the point? We all know what the point is. It's one step closer to what they want,
Yeah.
which is to grab them all.
Yeah. Well. Well, they won't get them from me. I mean, they've already got one, but what are you supposed to do? One man against four.
That's pretty much all you can do in that
Yeah.
situation.
I've got a family. I wanna live, but I'm an American, and so as an American, I've got to be willing to pay that ultimate sacrifice.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the way I was brought up. My dad was a Navy diver, so patriotism it's in my bones.
Right. I think that a lot of, you say patriotism's in your bones. The thing that I read you, about men that just wanted to be left alone.
Sure.
I mean, that says it in a pretty much of a nutshell for me.
Yeah.
The, is I just want to be left alone to live my life.
Yeah.
I don't want to infringe on anybody else.
Do you want to ride your motorcycle without a helmet?
If I want to.
Well, then why do you gotta get a ticket for not buckling your seatbelt?
Revenue. Right, revenue.
Yeah, left alone. And so, I guess I would take that conversation to the poorer population and what they're wanting to be left alone with, I grew up in Montclair, and in doing this process of getting my petition signed, I got to talk to a lot of people, and Montclair was always a bad place to be when I was growing up. But somebody mentioned to me that back in the day, Montclair and Crescent Lake were the it place to live. That, 3-bedroom, 1-bath house was enough. And in Montclair, decent sized yards. It's not like right up next to each other like a lot of these new neighborhoods.
Right.
But real decent sized yards. My mom still lives out there, and but growing up, it was just a bad place to be. And but when did that become not enough though?
Right.
I don't know. They're selling us a bunch of different dreams out here, and but I would say a lot of those people in those areas all over the country, they want to be left alone too, and they're not.
Right.
We have more people in jail and prison in America than anywhere else in the world.
I hear the libertarian coming out.
Yeah.
Are you do you plan to run again for office?
We'll see how this November goes. I haven't decided what's next in that arena, but I have had one question of somebody asking me to go speak for them at the podium. So, if you're maybe not wanting to speak at the podium, but you have a topic, I'm willing to go talk for you. Not that they're listening.
Right.
I already asked them to see about the HB 7065, which was the Responsible Fatherhood bill. It's $70 million that DeSantis set aside, and I haven't seen them do anything about it yet. So, that could be $1 million plus for responsible fatherhood programs around town.
Money for fathers.
Money for fathers.
That'd be something new, wouldn't it?
Well, I think it's a step in the right direction to
Right.
the change we need to see, coming forth for dads. It's, you shouldn't have to spend thousands and thousands of dollars just to say, hey, I want to see my kid.
Right.
Can I have some equality?
Well, that only counts in certain situations.
Yeah.
Where life is unequal for some,
Yeah.
the oppressed people is where that counts at.
Sure. Listen, that family court system nearly ended me.
I've been involved in it.
It's terrible.
I've been involved in it. The threat of being arrested, the threat of going to jail, which would be losing your job, losing your driver's license,
Yeah.
just like that.
It's terrible.
And I don't think there should be. I'm not saying there should be deadbeat dads or deadbeat moms or whatever. The kids need to come first and be taken care of. But it's very unfair in a lot of ways.
Well,
And it's stacked. The deck is stacked decidedly against the man.
especially if you're an unwed father. If you're married and you have the kids and when you're married, then that does make it a lot easier than being unwed.
It shouldn't make a difference, should it?
I don't think so at all. If you're a responsible father and you want to spend time with your child, why can't you?
You have to be responsible financially, but you don't get to have the benefits of being the father, right?
Yeah.
You can't be involved in their life. You can only provide the income for her to raise them?
Every other weekend and Wednesdays from 3 to 5.
I did that for a long time while giving a lot of my income at the time.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And getting fought on and we had a, back then, this was, Jared was 7. This was 30 plus years ago.
Sure.
Right? So it was close to $1,000 a month.
Yeah.
So there was a change in the custody deal.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, well, I've been, and she wouldn't let me quit paying child support. I couldn't quit paying child support, even though I had my son.
Yeah.
So I said, oh, hey, so now the order's been officially recognized by the court, right? And I have X amount of dollars coming back to me.
Yikes.
$30-some $100. It's like, she's like, oh yeah, well, I had to spend that on, I had to spend that on medical bills for the kid, for Jared,
Sure.
right? And so, what are my options? I would have to hire a lawyer.
Yeah.
So basically it was just the finger to me from her.
Yeah. Well.
And so, yeah.
My mom didn't get a penny from my biological father. My stepdad stepped in and took over 4 kids and
Sounds like a good man.
Yeah. Yeah, he is.
There's a lot of good men like that do that.
Absolutely. That's tough to take on,
In my second marriage, I had 2 stepdaughters, and nobody knew. I mean, that didn't know us.
Yeah.
Nobody would know that those weren't my daughters.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, I always called my dad Dad. He's the only one that'll ever be Dad, right? I mean, so, yeah.
Hey, you guys out there listening on Facebook, if I can get you to, I've typed it a couple times, but you just abjectly ignore me. If I could get you to go over to Patriot TV Live, patriottvlive.com, and register and join the chat there, I would like that. I'm trying to get away from the censored big tech social media sites.
Sure. I could get you kicked off those, I'm sure.
I get myself kicked off fairly easily. I've had to reset my YouTube account up 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
To keep it going, keep the videos stored there on Patriot. And we have a loyal following on Facebook.
Good.
And but I'd love to have you guys join me over on Facebook. Exactly, Greg. So get your butt over to patriotvlive.com, Greg.
There you go.
Register. It should work pretty easily. Just a password, email and a password, and join us over there. And if we can start building it over there, I think it'd be beneficial to all of us. Then we can say whatever we want about whoever we want. They throw me, I mean, the whole vax thing.
Oh, God.
They throw me off for that stuff. And what did the CDC just not come out and say, oh, yeah, we were wrong, we mishandled all this?
Well, you know what the CDC also says? They say that it's okay to consume fluoride in your water.
Do they?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's the, do you trust them?
I don't trust anybody in the government.
Yeah.
In any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Or the media.
Oh,
Here's my question. Here's my question.
All right.
If you have a friend, or let's go more personal. If you have a spouse, significant other, that lies to you about something that's a big deal, where they were when they were, maybe they were with somebody who lies to you.
Sure.
You may forgive them. Okay, well, let's not let it happen again. They do it again. And you're like, you have a big fight about it, whatever, and you forgive them. They lie to you again. You're pretty much done at that point.
Yeah.
Okay? You're done. It doesn't really, they can't, it would be a monumental task to get them to be able to regain your trust.
Yeah.
Right? Why is it so much different with the government and the media? Why do they lie to you over and over and over again, and you continue to play their game and trust in them?
Why aren't they getting involved in the local politics? Why aren't they hosting debates? Why aren't they? Why are they just continually peddling number one, the Congress, and then the presidential garbage? And at the local level, I mean, I'm talking about at the local level.
WEAR.
Sure,
let's say.
Absolutely. They're
or WSRE. Let's say.
I don't know about WSRE.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't watch them. So, Channel 3. They are pounding the Gates Rebecca Jones deal.
Right. They're supporting Rebecca Jones.
And then, how much ad dollars are they getting from the other candidates that are local, though? Right. And so that's where the disconnect is.
Greg Stevenson is saying, "What's the site?" I'm not sure if he's talking about where you were talking about Patriot TV, or if he's talking about Stan. I was having trouble looking up your masterbutler.com site.
I'd had it taken down.
Oh, okay.
For the run.
AJ.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if he was talking about that or.
Greg, scroll up, brother. Greg, Kim, AJ. Hey, Kim Nation, what's up? Scroll up towards the top. I put it at about the very top of the chat. Is the link to patriottv.live.com/playharderradio. If you can go up there. By the way, Gabby, my friend Gabby, just commented on Patriot TV. He goes, like when I lie to my wife and go to the bar with you.
You need what? You need some whiskey in here.
What?
We've
done what? It. We could do that, but if you think I'm passionate and can get animated when I get the brown stuff in me, I'm a lot more fun.
There you go. I'm sure we all are, right?
I'm sure. I'm waiting for a Gabe response to that one too, because
there's a lot of these new distilleries around here. We need to get a sponsor, a distillery sponsor.
Well, I'm gonna shout out my favorite one. It's Spar Brewery out on Fairfield in Hollywood.
Bar Brewery.
Spar.
Yeah.
I really like them out there. They're on the west side, and good conversation. In there, and great staff.
They don't throw you out like we got thrown out for talking politics?
No way. Absolutely not.
We were at the after the show one night, we went down to the Azalea.
Yeah.
Because I live right there.
Okay.
And the bartender comes over and he goes, remember the rule, gentlemen.
Yeah, no politics.
No politics. I'm like,
damn it, man. It's all people are talking about these days.
Can I just say, you know what? It's not appreciated by very many.
No.
And watch for Kellie, by the way. She may be joining us. Did you set up Zoom?
Yes, it's going.
Cool. But it's become such a joke and so absurd.
Well,
that I think my favorite political response or argument is, fuck you.
Well, let's stop talking about the president. Let's start talking about what's going on in our town.
Well, I agree. Because you know what? Largely we know. Largely we don't know what's going on.
$34,000 pay increase for the mayor.
Well, yeah.
I mean, they're so out of touch.
Why did that? Who voted that in? The city council.
The city council. Two of them voted no. There was two of them that voted no. I think it was Hill and somebody else. I can't.
Did she lose?
But Sherry Myers voted for it, and she should have abstained because she's running for mayor. I mean, I would think that would be a reason to abstain from that vote because she's running and she would benefit from it if she did win at the time that they took the vote. But like 33 and some change, I believe, is the individual average income. All right, now the household income average is 53 and some change, I think, in Escambia County. But 33 and some change is the average income for an individual person in Escambia County. And they just increased the mayor's salary by that much, by 34. I mean, these people are so disconnected from reality because they're in their own bubble of political class people.
Right. That's mind-boggling. I don't understand. I don't understand what's behind that.
And I mean, do you
Even
think
doing that?
Do you
Are we
think
trying to get
DC Reeves really needs an extra $34K when he's already got his own businesses and everything going on too?
I don't believe he does.
I mean, when is enough enough?
What is he doing this for?
I don't know. You'd have to.
What's he doing the job for? I think.
Because
who did you like in the race?
None of them.
Okay.
I mean, that's if you want me to be 100% honest, none of them. You know, listen, I'd rather we tore the city building down and called President Trump and said, "Hey, come build a Trump Tower here, please."
Who's your favorite politician of all time?
Favorite politician of all time?
Ron Paul?
You know, Ron Paul did all right, but no, Trump. I didn't vote for him the first time. I've always been that, you know, odd person that didn't vote red or blue.
Right.
Okay, I've always voted the libertarian ticket because it's like I don't like the partisan bullshit.
My friend who owns I go to Revolt Fitness.
Okay.
Strong and 9th. 1 block north of Cervantes on 9th.
Okay.
And the owner's there, my friend Omar, he votes for Ron Paul every election.
He just writes it in.
Yeah. If you hear this, Omar, you can correct me, but I believe that it's either that or the libertarian ticket.
Sure.
But I believe that he votes for Ron Paul every.
Yeah, I didn't like I don't know, because I voted Trump this last time. I did. Because it was Joe Jorgensen.
Right.
Was the president, and then but her vice president candidate that ran with her, Spike Cohen. If you don't follow him on Facebook, go follow Spike Cohen.
I follow Spike Cohen on. Listen.
He has got
I follow Spike Cohen on Twitter.
Okay.
And so Kennedy,
right?
On Fox Business.
Sure.
Lisa Kennedy.
Okay.
She retweeted my tweet.
Uh-oh.
I'm just saying. And you know why she retweeted it? Because I was switched over to business. Was it Sunday? But Spike Cohen was on her show.
Yeah.
And
he's got the Fox.
He was ripping
spot.
some ass.
Yeah.
I mean, not ripping. You know what I mean? He was ripping some people's.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Spike Cohen knocked it out of the park on Kennedy this morning. And she actually replied and retweeted my tweet. It was awesome.
Dude, he's had some sheriffs shut their Facebook page down after he comments, and then his warrior trolls come commenting too. And he has had some sheriff's office shut their Facebook off.
I'll pay more attention to him. Do you like John Kennedy from Louisiana?
I can't say I'm familiar with him. No, I don't. I don't watch
the
a lot
kind
of the
Cajun
news.
dude who just. I love him.
I don't watch the news.
That's that's not a bad. How do you get educated?
I dug in here locally. All politics are local, and that's where we need to change the conversation.
That's you're making a good point. Even though we're going to talk about some more national stuff tonight, but you know what? You're right.
It's all local, because if your local guys can't tell you who the best state and congressional guys are, because those congressional guys and the state guys, they can't meet everybody. They've got too many constituents in their districts. They just can't do it. They're shaking hands. They're shaking hands all day. And they're not going to know you from Adam if they saw you in the street, you know?
I've learned a lot from just going to those 2 executive committee meetings, Republican executive committee meetings.
Were you there the one that they had the vote that was 2024?
I don't think so. I just been to the last 2.
Oh, man.
And I'm going to join because I want to be a precinct committeeman.
Sure.
I'm going to stick to the Republican thing because I don't know if I can be a libertarian precinct committeeman.
Well, it was a vote on election integrity. They wanted to write a letter to the supervisor of elections saying he did a great job and didn't cheat and whatever it was. And so they did a vote on election integrity, and the vote was 24-20. 24 people voting to say the supervisor did great, and 20 people saying no way. Okay, and so it didn't pass because it has to pass with a 2/3.
Right.
Just like kissing up to him or something.
Right. Just like saying, good job, Mr. Supervisor of Elections.
You did your job.
So I've only known about it and been to 2 meetings.
Okay.
So the last one was you spoke. The one before, and one of the ladies stood
God,
up.
the argument was great.
Right?
25-minute argument.
Did you notice that I was having a hard time being quiet because I'm not a member yet? Because I'm with that. I was with that lady.
Yeah, totally, 100%.
All she wants to know is, and then somebody goes,
do you think the election was stolen?
Right.
And you still had 2 people in there that voted no, the election wasn't stolen. Because they wanted to, lump in Florida that said Florida was good or whatever. There's still ghosts in those machines here in Florida too. You better believe it.
I'm not. Well, you know what they said about Florida at the Cyber Symposium?
What?
That Mike Lindell's Cyber Symposium.
Okay.
I think it was in Utah.
I heard about that one.
He said there was plenty going on in Florida.
Yeah.
But we just overwhelmingly were so red in our vote that they couldn't cheat enough.
What do you mean by ghosts in those machines? What?
Oh, well, the codes and all that stuff,
okay.
I mean, when I went to they tested the machines. I went to that, and I did a live on my Facebook, and I was recording the vast majority of it, okay? And Stephen Barry was there, and I don't know what it was, if I got something on his personal cell phone, but the supervisor of elections told me I had to stop recording. And so I stopped recording and left shortly after that. But then there was an error. After I left, there was an error that they fixed somewhere in the process.
Jordan is big on the election integrity.
Yeah.
How about the guy? Remember the guy that got so heated? Is there an election integrity group?
Right. Yes, I think there's several of them, and they knock a lot of doors. They've knocked a lot of doors to make sure that a lot of these voters are where they say they are, and that they are who they say they are. So the election integrity groups have been working really hard in Northwest Florida. I've seen them. They got the list.
I forget which one it was, but they found a bunch of stuff.
Bunch of them.
And so the one guy that was standing in the back in the glasses, who was the election integrity update guy or whatever,
right?
He got pissed. Remember?
Yeah, I don't know
because
about
I think he was
guy.
on that 24 side.
Yeah. Well, yeah, for sure. But I don't know. I'm a little bit iffy on that guy.
I was wondering what you know about him, and that's why I said they're not going to like me there.
Yeah, well,
because
good.
They're going to be iffy on you.
I want the candidate that's not liked, because it is run by the establishment in Northwest Florida, from Bay County all the way to Escambia County. It is run by the establishment 100%. Like. We had some really good candidates in Okaloosa for school board, in Bay County for the state house. We had a good candidate there, but I don't know what the problem is if Republicans just aren't getting out to vote. But in District 4 for Escambia County, 10,185 people didn't get to make a choice because they're registered NPA. And my neighbor's one of them. And, I told him, I said, well, if you do want to vote for me in the primary, you'd have to change your registration by July 25th to Republican. Right. He's like, all right, yeah, I think I could do that. No, I really don't want to do that.
Right.
We have a total of...
Did you say M or N?
NPA, no party affiliation. And so in Escambia County, we have 47,000 and some change.
Right.
NPAs. That's all of Escambia County. And then we have a little over 4,000 minor parties. So that'd be your Libertarian and any other
Green Party
and all that stuff. So that's over 50,000 people in the county that didn't get to vote on any partisan offices.
Until I moved to Florida, I was registered independent.
Sure.
And, I'm from Kentucky originally. But
I got to meet Massey. He's from Kentucky, right?
Okay.
That was Monday, right?
Yeah. He said he got his start in local politics. Of course, that suit. I don't know if y'all seen my suit, but you don't forget that suit.
You got your suit on. What are you talking about?
Oh no, he don't.
Yeah, that's a one of a kind.
I saw it at the beach.
Yeah,
I'm a fan.
Yeah,
of that suit. Okay, there. I just redid that. I think. That's what I'm trying to keep up with the chat thing. Then I lose track of the conversation.
Sure.
So speaking of just politicians and such, we talked about this earlier, and I saw the picture, and I'm old enough that I know that this is Solzhenitsyn.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, I
did. Do you recognize the picture, Todd?
No, I don't.
I had not recognized it.
I must be old as what.
Who is he? Oh, he's the one that what you read earlier. Okay.
Labor Party guy, or
is he a Russian?
No, Polish. I believe he was Polish.
Yeah.
During the 80s, 70s, 80s?
Okay.
He got thrown in jail for a long time.
Hmm.
He wrote a book. I can't remember the name of the book.
Well, read what it says. You didn't read it.
You know what? I'll read it when I'm ready.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, you keep referring
Shut
to
up.
it because you read it to us beforehand, and nobody knows what you're talking about.
Okay. Yes, sir. We know they are lying. They know they are lying. They know we know they are lying. We know they know that we know they are lying. But they're still lying.
Yeah. And stealing money through a retirement program here locally.
That is mind-boggling to me. In the Escambia County Board of Commissioners, they have a retirement program. It's really a hidden crock of shit.
Yeah.
Because nobody knows about it.
Right.
But the county commissioner for the district gets, I don't know if I'm going to round up, but $80,000.
It's a little over 80.
A little over 80 for a salary.
For a salary.
They also get right around 50% put into a 401A.
That's right.
What's an A?
I don't know.
Okay, 401A account, a type of retirement account, while they're in office. So truly, they get
130, close to 130.
130 is what it ends up coming up to.
It's
close to a year.
Yeah. What happened to public service?
Well, that's what we need to get back to.
Well, I mean, the city council, when they increased it to 134,000, they're like, we need to be able to recruit better talent.
For what?
For mayor. I think we need to get rid of the city and take some of those services that are duplicated and save some money on administration.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
That'd be nice. I mean, most everything is Escambia County stuff run.
Well, the permitting office in Escambia County, their next day appointment for inspections. I don't think you can say the same thing about City of Pensacola. I think they're way far behind at the building department there. And it's a duplication of services.
Yeah, you know what?
A lot of cities do that.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
You're promoting a lot of thought about the local because everybody says it, but do they really understand it? That it all starts at the local level.
All politics are local. You know, and that's why I spent time in my campaign to get to know the other candidates so that I could recommend the other candidates that I thought were good.
Right.
Because, you know, so many people didn't want to do politics that way because they think somebody else is going to smear their name or something if they go along with them, that's going to make them look bad. But I think it makes you look good. It makes you look at like a united front as a team.
Right.
You know, and man, the way we've been doing politics with all this money going through the campaign finance accounts, it's ridiculous.
Well, I think definitely campaign finance needs to change.
It has to.
I mean, you know, I would guess that the way it's going with the way corporations can donate is a part of the crony capitalism that is the problem.
It is. It's a big problem. So,
you know, because
a corporation,
if it was just the people, like I'm into, you know, I had a friend, actually somebody I dated, who was a Republican in another state, big Newt Gingrich fan and everything, but her dream was to be a lobbyist. And I'm like,
you're going to dream about giving people's money away to get what you want?
I'm like, you're supposed to be a conservative and you want to be a lobbyist?
That doesn't sound like conservatism to me.
You can't reconcile that.
No.
I mean, you got to have conservative lobbyists too. Otherwise,
you got to have no lobbyists.
No lobbyists. I mean, the people. I mean, we're talking about freedom here.
You know, there is an aspect of capitalism that the I want to say the constituent Democrats are against, which is but they say they're against capitalism. Let's say that a Democrat. But they're not really against. I don't think that they understand that there's a difference between capitalism and the crony capitalism that's going on, all the fraud and corruption that's going on at the corporate. I mean, they hate corporations, true, which I can understand that with the, you know, but it's the politicians that they're voting for.
Unless they're a pharmaceutical company, and then
that's a different story.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Well, I was able to get some of the items that they don't want you to get. That's the alternative medicine.
Me too.
And so that was nice.
You know what? So Politico just came out with an article today, and a few people put it up as a hatchet job on Trump. But Politico said that the Trump organization was pressuring the FDA to approve therapies for COVID. They were basically speaking about hydroxychloroquine.
Okay.
You know, and I'm like, yeah. To their credit, they were trying to pressure the FDA to approve that. Don't try and write this article like that's a bad thing. Mm. I mean, you ought to be applauded for that.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I suppose there's still people who believe that ivermectin is, you know, for horses only.
It's way more expensive when you buy it for humans.
Yeah. Well, and it's, you know what, I people close to me and they're like, you mean the horse paste?
Yeah.
And I'm like, at that point, I quit talking.
Yeah.
You know, because I say it like, I'm like, hey, if you need, I can get ivermectin if you're, you know.
Yeah.
Because.
I was surprised at how much it was, to be honest, but.
They were taking advantage of that.
I'm sure. It's capitalism.
You know, there are pharmacies that do it here in town. Yeah. There's, what's that that pharmacy on Davis Highway? Right just south of 10.
Yeah, I don't know.
On the east side. they do it. I can't remember the name of it. But, yeah, there are therapeutics out there at work. But anyway, yeah, they were trying to do a hatchet job on the Trump administration, and it's also making a referendum on the midterms coming up. But it was a positive to me. I mean, it was proven over and over. The whole thing was a sham.
Yeah.
You don't pay attention.
I when I had
that.
my first son, we had a conversation about those types of things. The ones that are already in place, and it was a tough conversation on it was a tough decision for us to make. And when we finally did make the decision, we said, okay, yeah, we're going to do it, but we're only going to do one at a time. We're only going to let them do one at a time, and we're going to spread them out. And
what are we speaking of?
The vaccines.
Okay.
The ones that kids get.
Oh, yes.
The ones that are already in place before
yep.
this one. Okay, so this was 9 years ago. My son is 9.
Okay.
And I was appalled by the reaction we got from the nurses and doctors, like we were doing something wrong, like we were being bad parents for choosing to do one at a time. And there was some doctors that wouldn't accept us because we wouldn't do it all at the same time, 5 different shots at one time. And I hope we made the best decision at this point, because we did get them all, but we just did them one at a time and spread them out. So that,
it's just become it became a it's just what you do.
Yeah.
Accepted.
Yeah.
Just totally accepted. But there's a lot of horror stories out there. There's a lot of horror stories out there.
Yeah.
You don't hear about them. But I think this whole China virus situation really, if you were paying attention, exposed a lot about the industrial medical complex.
Well, okay. In I think it's Exodus, the snakes are biting the people, right? And so what do? They make a golden snake and wrap it around a staff, put it in the center of town for everybody to see. And that solves the problem. Everybody can now see what the problem is. They look at it, they see it, they know what it is, so they can see it and avoid it. And so I kind of think, when I think about some of this stuff, because, a lot of people say bad things about Trump because of this, because of the warp speed and all that, right?
Right.
But to me, what he was doing is he was taking that staff and he was putting it in the center of town for everybody to see.
Right.
What's the problem? Here it is. It's right here. Just look at it. Would you just look at it?
Yeah, I had some issues about the warp speed situation, and I think there was enormous pressure to be working on something, and I think that makes a lot of sense what you just said.
Yeah.
Here it is.
Here it is.
Make your choice.
And I think something good did come out of it too. The right to try thing. I think that is something good that came out of it too, because I think that down the road that's going to help us a lot with some other legislation as far as people's right to try new therapeutics and
right,
and make their own decision on becoming a part of a trial or whatever.
Well, they started blocking doctors for doing things. They've prescribed off label for decades.
Sure.
Drugs off label. I think I want to say that I'm saying that right. Maybe off labels when the patent for the original, for the inventor runs out or whatever. But off the normal, just like hydroxychloroquine has been prescribed for many different things.
Sure.
Same with ivermectin.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, they were running that horse paste scam about ivermectin. About ivermectin when it's been 4 billion doses have been given out.
Yeah.
Around the world.
Yeah.
Of it.
Well, I think a lot of people are still taking that horse paste. I think you might be surprised, but
We have a guest.
Well,
with
ivermectin,
us,
yeah,
by
I don't
the
think
way.
they're taking it in the paste form, in the pill form, but yes, I am. I mean, I don't. I have some.
Does
Kellie,
that laugh
Kellie, what's
sound
up?
familiar there?
Hey, finally got Junior in the bed.
oh,
Stan, Kellie,
hey,
Stan.
hey, Kelly.
Stan, how are you?
Oh, I'm blessed. I'm blessed.
Good. Me too.
Do awful lot of
And
complaining
so
all
is
week
Jim,
for
'cause
being
he knows
blessed.
both of us.
How are
So
you?
back to the horse paste. I'm good. You can get your prescription from Conrad, from Jimmy.
Oh, I know. Yeah, there's places to get it
Okay.
easily.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That's where I got mine from Jimmy.
yeah.
right. But
Not that we need it anymore, but
so I wanted to. I got a subject to talk a little bit about.
Okay.
The have you seen any? Well, you don't watch the news.
I don't watch a lot of
I
news.
really am impressed with your lack of watching national news and being focused on the local situation. I'm very impressed by that. That's a good thing. But in the big cities, New Orleans, D.C., Baltimore, Chicago, New York, Philadelphia, carjackings
Ooh.
are just rampant with this whole defund the police thing.
And Kelly lives in a big town too.
Do you have them there in Indianapolis?
not really. Not lately. We've had a few here and there, but not lately. Well, actually, I don't even watch the local news anymore because they're just as bad as the
Yeah, it's terrible.
Well,
mainstream.
Stan was saying earlier that the local news concentrates on national news. They don't talk to us about what's going on locally.
Yeah, and they only give one side of the story usually too.
Well, yeah.
My local Fox channel does.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, the spirit of lawlessness. Where does that
Yes,
stem
but
from?
You know how you don't get carjacked? You pull your 9 on them.
That's it.
Well, they're trickier than that, but what needs to happen? Yeah, a few people need to get shot.
Well,
Yes. No, more than a few.
I don't know. I mean, yeah.
More
How does that
than-
work out? You know.
Well, that is your right to defend yourself, right?
I think it starts at the
Absolutely.
school with the school board, education. You know, man, I'll tell you, when you grow up in that environment, it's all you know.
Yes, that's true.
It's all you know until you know something different. And, you know, I think that a lot of these carjackings and whatnot are being done by younger people, even
They are.
minors.
They are.
And this is all that a lot of these kids know. It's all they know.
You think they don't know that it's wrong? They know it's wrong.
I'm sure, but I don't think
In their
I
heart,
don't
they
think
know
a lot
it's
of
wrong.
them understand the consequence.
Right.
That is life and death.
I believe that's true because they don't have a life and death. There's no life and death consequence to it right now for them.
Right. Right.
I'm not, like I said, I it's the only, it's just like, when I was a kid, my dad said, if you keep coming home a half hour, don't get up and do your paper route when you're supposed to do it. I'm going to whip your butt.
Yeah.
And then I would continue to, and then he would whip my butt, and then I would quit doing it. That's
Well,
right.
but it's like Stan said, they don't come from that. There's no father in the home.
Well, that's not always
They
the
come from a bunch
case.
of fatherless homes.
That's a lot.
Sometimes the fathers or the father figure is a gangster.
Right. I was just getting ready to
You
say
know,
that. The gangs are taking place of the fathers.
Yeah.
By the way, our doctor in the house said off-label is unintended use, so that
There you go.
was right. And he said too, because there's no consequences, they're out the next day,
Yeah.
and all these cities are,
Right.
how do we, and so what I wanted to bring this up because, like in there's been over 1,000 this year I think it was in Chicago. No, in Chicago, carjackings are staggering 1,400 in Chicago this year. 850. There were 757 total. 850 so far in Philadelphia. They're going rampant in New Orleans. We got an elderly woman, 59 or 69, I can't remember, got her arm ripped off.
How much are those city council people stealing from the citizens?
Everything.
How much are those county commissioners up there stealing from their citizens?
They keep getting voted in.
You know, I mean, root cause. All politics are local.
So we talk about policy, the policies that create this. All these cities that I just mentioned are blue cities. The murder rate, and so in another article that I had was Baltimore, which has about 550,000 people. Miami has about 450,000 people. Baltimore's another blue. For 5 decades, it's been blue.
Sure.
The carjackings that we watched the police being told to stand down in 2020, and I watched it get burned down. The mayor told the police to stand down, and they stood by and watched while they destroyed their city. But 200, they're on track for record murders this year.
Are you talking about those mostly peaceful demonstrations?
Yeah.
Okay.
But in Miami, which is run by, which they have a red Republican mayor,
Okay.
Francis Suarez, they're at 28 murders so far this year.
Which I guess is low
Yeah,
for their
he's
average.
killing it. He is.
Which
not,
is,
no
yeah,
pun
well,
intended.
there's almost 10 times that in Baltimore.
Yeah.
And the other cities are,
Yeah.
you know, the numbers are, the populations are higher per capita. I don't know what the others are, but
Yeah. When it comes to per capita, here in Florida anyways, Escambia County ranked number 1 most dangerous county per capita one year.
I know that it's up there.
And we're at like 35 last stat I looked at, 35 out of 67, I think.
Where is it that Kellie Bowling is from?
I would say Indiana.
Is it?
Indianapolis.
Is it? She's saying that there was a 16-year-old executed
Yes,
this
that
morning
was this morning. Yes,
Executed how?
at a bus stop.
At a
at a bus stop.
at
This
a
is a
kids,
school
man.
bus stop, I guess. Then
It's the suburb of Indianapolis, south of here.
This is
well,
policy.
yeah, you know what? You're right about that, and I see that that's all they know, but they know better. And if it's still personal responsibility, and if the consequences are dire, then they're going to think about doing it. No,
It doesn't matter what law you make. Somebody's going to break
Right.
it.
I'm not talking about a law. I'm talking about citizens protecting their property with lethal force.
Where are the men? I mean, look at Kenosha with Rittenhouse. He's 17 years old. They're all by himself.
Yeah.
Where are the men? Where are the sons of liberty?
Missing in action.
They're betas of socialism now.
Kellie was actually
Right.
at the mall that day whenever the kid up in Indy shot that shooter.
So that's 2 lives
Stan.
ruined. Oh yeah. I don't think I could shoot as good as that guy. 40
You
yards.
put 8 out of 10.
Oh,
40
Yeah.
yards. Dang.
Badass.
That's
he is
a
badass.
dude. He's going to the range regular.
Was
Yeah.
he ex-military?
In that situation, I think I'm trying to get closer
Right. 40 yards is a long ass ways.
with a pistol.
Do you know
for
what
sure.
it's typically at a range, one of your
15,
distance
7,
is 25
15.
feet.
Yeah.
So 10 yards.
Yeah.
Ish.
Yeah.
And he put 8 out of 10 in moving. He
so
legit
awesome.
James Bond his ass.
Yeah. That's some training. You know, that kid was training. He was definitely training.
Impressive.
That's pretty impressive.
But
Thank God he was there.
the whole point to what I wanted to talk about is policy makes a difference. And we have a shining example in South Florida, in Miami.
Okay.
Absolutely. You know that was on Tucker the other night.
Yep. And that's where Gabe turned me on to it. You know what? Gabe's right too. Make it mandatory 20 years for carjacking or any serious felony at any age, and they will stop.
Well, let's just start arresting the CIA guys that are bringing in cocaine.
Yeah. Yeah, well, yeah, there's a lot of people that need to be arrested.
I mean, come on, man. Yeah. In this race, I was downtown, and I don't want to get sued by anybody, so I won't mention a name.
Right.
But I'm downtown, and one of these political candidates is geeked up. It's no question about it to me. I mean, I wasn't born yesterday, and at 17, I got arrested for selling LSD. So I know a little bit about a little bit, and dude was geeked up. And I mean, rules for thee, but not for me. This is the spirit of lawlessness that we have going on.
That's funny that you would think that you would keep your, I mean, no pun intended, this is too funny. You would think you would keep your nose a little bit cleaner.
Out in the public at gallery night.
Out in public at gallery night when you're running for office. That was just perfect yeah.
I'm telling you. And another candidate had his eyes, his pupils way down, little bitty pupils.
Another candidate. San Francisco reported 3,375 larcenies in the month of November alone last year. Car break-ins, most all of them.
Okay.
I love it in San Francisco. I love it in all those cities. But when they gonna learn their lesson?
How many fathers are in prison for victimless crimes?
Like marijuana.
Like marijuana.
What else?
I'm
okay with. I think it's. I'm not a big fan of marijuana, but I don't give a shit. Legalize it.
It's Genesis 1:29. It bears seed. It's for the meat. Okay.
Scripture for marijuana legalization.
Well, in Tennessee, there's like some loophole in the Farming Act or something, and so they're able to grow it and sell it even in Tennessee under some loophole.
Interesting. What happens to the black market when it's legalized?
Well, you're always going to have the black market, but what the free market brings is just way better. Okay, the free market brings testing. If we talked about marijuana, you'd be looking at testing for mold, and eventually it would have a Surgeon General's warning on it, if it was federally done, right? And so
non-constitutional, an unconstitutional Surgeon General's warning. Is that covered under the enumerated powers?
It'd fall under the FDA.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is not under the enumerated powers.
But the free market would bring a level of accountability, to the product, right, to the end product. And I think that you could say the same thing for cocaine. I heard a story the other day, or not the other day, it was a while back. Some college kids get some coke and they die because it's cut with fentanyl.
Yeah, it's happening all over the place.
And what a tragedy. I mean, should they have been doing it? No, okay, so they shouldn't have been doing it, but they did. And now they're dead.
I'm going to have a cocaine store when that happens.
I think the free market would end a lot of what the drug war's killing.
But I'm going to sell a lot of it out the back door because I don't want to pay taxes on it.
Sure. Well,
But it'll be regulated and it'll be clean.
Well, you have your Fifth Amendment too, so.
Kellie, what?
Speaking of the FDA, they are trying to shut down an Amish farm up in northern Indiana.
Man, oh
because
man.
they're selling clean meat that is no hormones, no pesticides, no genetically modified.
Like grass
People
fed?
pay. It's like a Sam's Club. You have to pay to be a member of this co-op, of this Amish farm. They have 4,000 members, and the FDA is trying to shut them down.
How many recalls have we had
I've
for
got
salmonella?
Yeah.
I've got a news story on that if you want to hear it.
Well, I'm saying for all the other things that are regulated by the FDA.
Right.
How many recalls from what the state and the Fed has regulated it to?
Tons and tons and tons.
Right.
Well, yeah, we know that the whole battle that's going on today of the people that, the Trump derangement syndrome people.
Sure.
All those people hated the government 4 years ago. 5 years, 6 years ago now.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Before Trump. And now they're, they can't get, they're all over, they're just swallowing the government whole.
Yeah.
For every, the Democratic Party and the left, the government can do no wrong. They lie to us, they cheat us, they steal from us.
Yep.
Gabe said in San Francisco, the only way you can end up in jail is if you get caught selling a nuke.
David.
Then why haven't they gotten Hillary for selling the yellow?
Because that wasn't a nuke, that was just uranium.
Oh, my bad.
David in Indy says that Eli Lilly won't let Indiana legalize pot in.
Who said that?
David Boyles.
Boyles.
He's saying
that's a friend of mine.
Yeah, he says Eli Lilly won't let. He says Lilly, but I know he's talking about Eli Lilly.
Yeah.
Marijuana. I like it, David.
Because their headquarters there in Indy.
Yes, downtown Indianapolis.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about a plant,
Yeah.
And it has so many medicinal healing purposes.
We have an endocannabinoid system in our body.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Now, I've heard a lot of interesting stuff about that.
I told you about that month ago, Jim.
I'm going to mention it if you can chill.
We were talking about a distillery sponsor. We should do a show, like having a pot dispensary sponsor it.
An endocannabinoid.
You want to talk? Let's talk about pot dispensaries. Yeah, absolutely. This is a good one. Okay, so let's look at the market for marijuana here in Escambia County.
Right.
Before the state comes in, okay? It's flourishing. It's great. Everything's good. They're arresting a few people here and there, but ultimately the peace is being kept and all is well. All right?
All right.
Then what happens? The state comes in and regulates it.
We got medical.
Okay. So at first, it was just the extracts and the products. You couldn't sell flour. Thankfully, DeSantis came in and said, enough with this BS. Give them the flour. 71% of these people voted for it. Give it to them. At DeSantis' request. Okay. So you got all these shops that are regulated. The first round of regulations, there was only less than 10 companies, I think. I might be wrong, but there was only 7 spots or something like that.
Right.
For growers. For growers.
Okay.
Companies that would qualify under their regulations. There was only a handful. All right?
Right.
And then you got all these different companies come in that can handle that regulation paperwork at the state level. Okay? They cut the little guy here in Escambia County out because now they have untaxed. Number one, it's untaxed because it's medical. It's untaxed leaf that you got to pay the stupid fee to get the license, all right? And you cut the little guy out of the market.
Oh yeah, it's big business.
And that's cash that stimulates our local economy. When you have these state businesses, they're taking that money out of Pensacola. A lot of them. I mean, I'm not familiar with any of them that are locally owned and operated. There may be some, but a lot of those companies are taking it out.
What are our representatives doing about that?
I don't think anything. I mean, they're happy with the way it is. I mean, I got a friend. He's ex-Army, and he got arrested in Escambia County with a felony amount of marijuana. Got put on probation. Then got arrested in Santa Rosa County with a felony amount of marijuana. Did 10 months in Escambia County. Got out. I helped him get his medical card because he said, I'd rather smoke than take pills. He's an older gentleman. I mean, you meet him. He did foundations in Northwest Florida here after he got out of the Army. He poured foundations.
Okay.
Hard-working guy, okay?
Right.
And had picked up scrap for a living over the years, too. And he did 10 months, got out, still had to go face his charges in Santa Rosa County. I helped him get his medical marijuana card. He goes to his probation officer, checks in, goes home. When his probation officer comes by, he's smoking a joint. The whole time he's on house arrest.
So he violated him.
No. He's got the license now. He's got the state license now.
I was just gonna say.
So the whole time.
I was expecting a.
No. The whole time he's on house arrest, community control in Santa Rosa County. He's able to smoke pot in front of his probation officer.
But he's on probation for
marijuana.
But I can smoke it. Yeah. It's what's a felony amount?
Okay, so an ounce is 28 grams.
Right, 0.35 actually.
Okay, and 20 grams.
I count my macros.
20 grams in Florida. 20 grams is a felony, so less than
Really?
an ounce. Yeah.
20 grams is a
less than an ounce is a felony.
Less than
yeah,
an
that
ounce is a
sounds
felony.
mind-boggling to
That
me.
sounds like Kamala Harris,
Yeah,
Kamalala Ding Dong.
California.
yeah.
Yes.
At some point, Houston decriminalized up to a quarter pound.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
How much is that? How much is a quarter pound of?
Like a quarter pounder from McDonald's.
it
You
depends
know.
on-
Listen, it's probably.
It depends on if you've taken
like
the
this.
seeds out or
That's
not.
a lot.
Yeah, because it doesn't
I've
weigh
seen
that
a lot
much.
more.
Me too, Stan. I've seen garbage bags full.
I've seen rooms.
Yeah,
of it.
probably
I've
on
seen,
your property.
I've seen grow rooms full. You know,
No.
grow rooms
Yeah.
full. That's a beautiful
Kelly,
sight.
don't. I'm sorry. Did I expose something?
No.
Kelly has a bunch of land and has a compound.
You will not
in-
find any pot. No.
Oh, I believe we won't find it. I watched Breaking Bad and
It's
a lot
too
of TV
wooded,
shows.
people.
It's
Gosh, well, that tells the story. That tells a story too, about how the cartels took over the meth game. Okay, and that's why meth's so cheap now, because the cartels are making it from preambles that come from China.
really.
Precursors, I should say. I mean, precursor, all the chemicals. Yeah, China's sending it to them. They're manufacturing that
sure.
stuff so cheap, and so you got it everywhere.
And those poor little people over there are making a penny a day.
Well, they shouldn't stay in China then.
They can't get out.
You just got to get a plane ticket to fucking Mexico.
That's it right
Right.
now. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
I don't think from China though.
Novak.
Anywhere else that's
Novak Djokovic, the all-time Grand
Yeah,
Slam
tennis
winner in tennis, can't play in the U.S. Open because he's not vaccinated. Because non-U.S. citizens cannot come into the country unvaccinated.
But wait a minute, he can come
Oh, well.
across the border.
Yeah, why doesn't he?
Oh, it's a smart idea.
Just go down, come across the Rio Grande.
Yeah.
He's got
Amen,
plenty of
yes.
money to
Wait,
pay.
that's in America? He can't come to America?
Correct.
What?
Correct.
Oh yes,
So that's a
Oh,
Fed
yeah.
thing, huh? Dang, that's too bad. Like, listen, I still want to. I've still got on my bucket list to want to go to the Isle of Man, and it's like I
For the TT?
yeah,
Is that what you're talking about? The
I'm not
TT?
leaving this
Yeah.
country.
That is the premier event in autosport.
oh God, it's absolutely amazing. I'd love to be there.
I'd
when
probably
that's going
choose.
on.
You know that the Isle of Man TT and the 24 Hours of Le Mans. Mm-hmm. I say that very French, I believe. Le Mans. Is like 2 weeks apart.
Okay,
So you could make a trip out of both races.
nice.
A 2 week trip out of both
Yeah.
races.
I got to go to Circuit of the Americas and see the MotoGP race there.
Would you go to? Well, that's right. You got a Buell hat on, so
Yeah.
you would get off on that.
Oh yeah.
When I got turned on to the Isle of Man TT, Todd, search YouTube. Todd, you awake?
Yeah, I'm awake now. What's up? What's going
I
on?
woke his ass up.
Where are we at?
I woke his ass up. Search YouTube for Isle of Man TT.
I don't
Man.
know what TT is, but Kai did the 24 Hours of Daytona one year. I think he might have done it twice,
Yeah.
actually.
Well, I'll tell you, there's nothing like racing, man. The best.
But-
I've tried a lot of drugs, and adrenaline's the best one.
Right?
That's true.
Well, you'll see this, Kelly. Are you where you can watch the video if he pulls it up?
I hope.
Well, I can see your search, so
If
keep searching,
what?
and then I'll tell you which one.
Well, I jumped to that one. People are awesome. Isle of Man TT 2022.
Nice.
What does the TT stand for?
It's something French. Don't worry about it.
Come on, guys.
In the last years of the 19th century, that human affairs were being watched from the timeless worlds of space. No one could have dreamed we were being scrutinized as someone with a microscope studies
that
creatures
little
that
tiny
swim
window.
Fast forward
multiply in a drop of water.
Hold on a second.
Few men even consider the possibility of life on other planets.
What are
And
we
yet-
watching there?
I don't know. It says, oh, here we go.
I don't think that's an auto race.
It's motorcycles, Kelly.
Yeah, it's motorcycles.
Oh, okay.
They drew their plans
Oh, they
against
come
us.
here to Indianapolis Grand Prix.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is different though. This is on a 30-mile loop on an island outside of Scotland.
Oh, cool.
And they call it the Isle of Man because men die. People die there.
Every
Scares
year.
me to death.
Just
I don't like it.
Spectators die.
Yeah.
Scares me to death. How they lay down like that.
Oh yeah. There's nothing like it in the world. Love it.
Fast forward.
They drew
There we
their
go.
plans against us.
Yes, I don't like that laying down stuff with that knee all the way out.
Oh,
Wait,
yeah.
you got to see them going through town by the white picket fence in the middle of town. 200.
I've
plus-
now that you know, I've watched it before. Now that I know what it is.
All right, here we go.
Gets my blood racing. And just watch.
Oh yeah, this is.
Fearless, man.
I mean, when they wreck, they just slid across that on their butt.
So look at them going right through town. They're doing 180 miles an hour.
That is so crazy.
Brick walls.
There you go. That's 200 right there.
No, no,
Coming up, the front wheel coming up. Yeah.
that's like having.
Look
a
at this.
death
I wish they would show one of the
They look like they're going pretty fast.
Yeah, they're over 200 miles an hour there.
crazy. That 200 miles an hour in a car is crazy enough.
Right.
Yeah. It's so much fun.
Okay.
Yeah,
love it.
it's
We've only
It's
got
fun
about
until you
1
wreck.
minute
it's.
left.
I can't believe you said that, and then I'm like, oh, it has to be talking about the Isle of Man TT.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's spectacular. You know that you can. I checked it out at one point. You can glamp. What do they call it? Glamping.
Sure.
Like in the Game of Thrones
Hell yeah.
Dany Targaryen Queen tent for like $700 for the week.
Nice.
That's cheap as shit.
Yeah. That sounds awesome.
And so you could glamp for $700. Just get a ticket over there.
Yeah.
They show people taking pictures, sitting on the side of the road with their phone and video, and a bike coming by them like a foot, like the bike's less than 5 feet from them.
Yeah.
Right around 5 feet from them, 200 miles an hour.
Yeah. That's sounds like a lot of fun. Plus, the motorcycle community is, it's a great community.
Yeah.
Amongst the motorcycle people, that's definitely a community that's fearless too, though.
Oh yeah. Well, we're up against it. We just ended on play on Patriot TV. We're still on Facebook Live.
All right.
Greg, hey, thanks for coming over to Patriot.
Congratulate you guys.
What?
I would like to congratulate you guys.
On?
You now have student loans.
We now have student loan debt? Is that what?
Yeah. You know what? That's funny, Kelly. That is actually funny, not funny. Funny, not funny. You now have student loans.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, some jackass's student loans.
Huh.
Yep.
A veteran. I saw a veteran say, "You know what? I lost 2 legs not to have student loans."
Right.
Because I joined the military to get my.
Exactly.
Right. Well, what they're selling at the universities right now is
indoctrination.
Bunch of garbage.
Most people should not go to college.
I'm glad I did. I did.
Yes, most people should not.
But I should have been done. But I could have been done with it by the time I was 18.
With college?
Yeah. Because, in 5th grade, I got recommended to go to Pat's or Brown Barge and then Pat's Center 2. And because I had a great, I had a pretty high IQ, in 5th grade. And so they sent me off to the gifted school.
Right. What happened?
We got popular right into 6th grade. It was good. That wore off into 7th grade, and then I wanted to hang out with all the geeks.
When did you start selling weed?
When did I start selling weed? Well, I first smoked at about 14, probably.
I wasn't until my second semester, my senior year, that I took a drink of beer or smoked any weed.
Yeah, so it would have been about 15 when I first started selling weed, because I couldn't pay for it myself. Are you kidding me? Broke kid in Montclair.
Kelly, when did you first smoke pot?
Oh, gosh.
Or do you have virgin lungs?
13 or 14.
I did not inhale.
Yeah, I did not inhale.
Sure.
I guess I inhaled.
Hell yeah, I did.
You know what? I remember that. That was 1992.
Greg was around.
1992 or 91. And so at that point, how old was I? 32. And I'm like, when he said I didn't inhale, I'm like, really?
Really?
That's your answer? That's your answer? I didn't inhale?
Well, he's just so used to
it. And people are buying it?
He's just so used to lying, man. I mean, at that point, your whole life's a lie. Everything in the public that you say, it's all a lie at that point, Because you're living a completely, totally secret life outside of that, I mean, his whole life on TV was a lie.
He's cooked. Have you seen him lately? He looks like he has I don't even know what.
Well,
dementia or something.
That's because you can't put, what's the name of the island? You can't put that stuff on TV.
Epstein.
No, there's a real name for it, though.
Oh.
But yes, that's what I'm talking about, but yes. You see, is it a lie in that blue dress?
Oh, that's just.
Is it a lie that he loved Hillary still?
What about the one with Bush throwing paper planes?
I don't know about that.
That painting? Yeah, it's the same. From that same island, there's a painting of Bush throwing paper planes into a Jenga towers.
Wow.
Yeah. Can you pull that one up?
All the Bushes?
No, just Bush Jr.
I remember there was some.
Just W?
Yeah.
His dad was not a good guy.
Yeah, just Bush paper planes. We should be able to find
I
it.
never saw that. I don't even know about that.
Is the same painter that did the Bill Clinton in the blue dress laying on the bed,
Yeah.
or on the couch or whatever?
Yeah.
Was that found in Podesta's place too? Well, there's Jenga.
Yeah, just type in Bush paper planes. There it is. That's only part of it. But there's like Jenga blocks and stuff on the bottom, on the floor. There it is.
God, that's creepy.
What year was that?
Website not allowed.
Oh.
Category adult pornography is restricted.
Oh.
bull
You're going to get me in
crap.
trouble, Todd. Back out. Back out.
Oh no.
Abort.
Hey,
Look at that creepy ass
reminds me.
picture of HW.
Yeah.
There we go.
There's Clinton.
Billy.
You know,
Yeah.
Before
oh no, I get in a chair.
before transitioning was cool.
Yeah. Whatever, man. Well, I hope some truth really starts coming out because we are so lacking in the truth these days.
That's what's in those documents that the FBI was trying to get out of
Yes,
Mar-a-Lago.
I hope it
isn't
is. Oh
Truth.
my God, I hope it is.
Next week I'm going to have Julie Barrett on.
In 4 weeks, no, 5 weeks from tonight.
Yeah.
Kellie's going to be here.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Yeah.
You guys
Awesome.
are killing me.
Yeah.
We'll
She
have a
is the
special
founder of
special
Conservative
guest.
Ladies of Washington.
Oh. You know, there's a lot of women that are involved in local politics. You know, there's a Woman for Responsible Legislation, and they did a great deal.
Moms for Liberty, who's
Yeah.
exacting a lot of change in the school boards.
Sure.
I had Tiffany Justice, one of the co-founders, on the show
Yeah.
back in the beginning of May, I want to say.
Where are the men?
Huh.
You know what? You
Yeah.
make a good point. Greg, there's nothing to keep your ass from coming down here.
What's
Oh,
he saying?
He goes, I want to come too, Kelly.
Okay.
You know what, Greg? You are very intelligent. I'm glad that you used two correctly. I was.
TOO.
Yeah, he went TOO. I was questioning his. I wasn't sure.
He went all too
As often as
TOO
he's in
on
a
us.
tank top, and
Guess those are comments you can't.
If you guys, this is off subject, but when you said where are all the men, Greg Locke interviewed Graham Allen about a month ago on his new podcast, and I can't remember what the name of the podcast is called, but it was really, really good interview. I listened to it this morning.
Graham Allen from Texas.
Yes, Greg Locke interviewed him on his
All right.
new podcast.
Any of you guys on Truth Social yet?
I am.
Yeah,
Okay.
You know what?
I am. I got on there first thing.
Okay, you can find me at the One Man Stand. So the
Hold on.
the One Man Stand.
ONE
Man
or
stand?
number one?
No, Stan. S-T-A.
No D.
No D. No, I'm Stan. I'm
Yes.
Stan the man.
Stan the man.
The
My brother is
CT.
Dan the man.
Wait. I'm Florida Man Stan. How about that one?
Wait a minute.
Florida man.
Florida man stand?
There's a lot
No,
of
it's-
news clippings that start with
Florida Man.
Florida man.
I haven't made that one
Florida
yet,
Man
but I think it
Stan?
should be.
Let's hope you don't.
The one man
No, I
stand,
think
that's hard. There's a lot of stuff that comes up whenever you do
You know
that.
what?
It's just- it's the number- it's the number.
I
It's the number.
registered
Oh,
for
the
Truth
number.
Social, and I missed. It went to my junk mail or whatever, the confirmation email thing
Sure.
or whatever,
Yeah.
and supposedly that expired or whatever,
And then you haven't been able to get back.
and now I can't. I guess I can use a different email and read, but I want my name.
Yeah.
I want because I got I use my name, my backup account on Facebook is Pat_Riot. So Patriot.
Okay, Stan, go back. I'm on here now. At Florida man.
No.
You're
The-
interrupting me.
At the One Man Stand. But don't spell out one. Just type
Yeah,
one.
I just followed you, Stan.
Sweet.
Yeah. Mine's traveling cam, so in case you see it on there.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, the conversations there are completely different.
I don't get on there very often.
Can you go live on Truth Social?
No, I don't think so. Not yet.
There you
but
are.
you can go live on Rumble and then share it to Truth Social.
Right.
They're working together, Rumble and Truth Social. So and I'm the same on Rumble too.
Kellie EY, I didn't have a chance to say hi to you tonight. Hi.
Kelly Douglas Bowling.
Yeah, Kellie EY.
Remind me to
Not
tell you of
Kelly,
a podcast
IE.
that you need to start listening to.
Okay.
But I'm going to close out the show playing a really good podcast.
Are you ending the show?
No, but I'm just saying.
Sounds like you are.
It's about that. It's about that.
It is about
past
that
time,
time.
though.
Will you come back?
Absolutely, anytime.
And now you said this might be the last show that you do for free.
Well, I really appreciate you putting my name out there, before the election. So
Not enough. I didn't do it enough. Stan and I conversed. He said he'd love to come on in Facebook Messenger, Play Harder's Facebook Messenger, and in true Faja fashion, I didn't get back with him after I said I would. But I did mention him in a few posts and a little live blurb.
I appreciate it.
On Tuesday morning.
Yeah.
Both of my candidates that I stumped for had a rough day.
Oh.
And
1,904 people voted for me. And
that's true.
I spent $200 on signs. I didn't have
That's
one.
awesome.
I didn't have one sign at one precinct.
That's awesome.
So in a way, so you're saying it was a win for you?
Oh, absolutely.
In a lot of ways.
1,904 people stood up for me.
I think Jordan had
That's
1,900
right.
too.
She had more than that, didn't she?
Did she?
I would hope.
Well, at the
I
last.
saw your Nikki did terrible. That poor girl.
Who?
Nikki.
Nikki Fried.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nikki
Didn't she
Fried.
come in dead last?
Sure.
Nikki's fried.
Hey, Shaw did
Yeah.
like over 500,000, like 570.
Speaking of people that were in the drug business, I mean, Nikki Fried, she was big into the medical marijuana growers in the state.
Right. That was all good old boys deal.
How does the secretary? That sounds like a conflict of interest.
There's so
The
many
Secretary of Agriculture is running a grow.
Okay. Conflict of interest. I like that. It may have been for her, but I can tell you right here in Escambia County, Larry Downs Jr., he sits on the Contractor Competency Board. And recently we've had a bunch of contractors that are getting ready to go belly up, getting sued, possibly going to jail, all this and that.
Well, when you take $90,000 from somebody and make them live in a trailer out in their driveway for 2 years.
I heard one person say it could be somewhere between $3 and $4 million total. So we're not talking about small potatoes here, but
right.
Okay. So Larry says he has to recuse himself because he knows these guys. He's done some plumbing work for them probably, and so he recused himself from the vote. And he goes to tell the county commission that, right? Burgosh goes to talking about all the thousands of votes he's made on the boards that he's been on and all the people he's known that he's voted for all this stuff on. How many of those should he have recused himself from?
Right.
Ooh-wee.
Whoops.
That's right here. Local. All politics are local.
Everyone but Skanska.
Did you say loco or local?
Local. I worked for Skanska.
Both.
Loco?
I worked for Skanska on this current project and when it was Tidewater Skanska Flatiron on the I-10 project as well. Yeah.
They're huge.
Well, I hope they never do another project in Florida. That's what I hear.
I'm sure. I wonder how bad that hurt them.
They bid $100 million less than the next bidder on the 3 Mile Bridge.
I did not know that.
Yeah, $100 million less.
If Greg has his way, we will be here all night.
Yeah.
He said, "Don't end the show."
I texted him and said, "Are you drinking?"
That's a stupid question.
No, I know it's Thursday night. It's Baby Friday.
Hey, it's Kids and Squids night down at Seville.
I didn't see much from Scott tonight. I saw him for a minute, and then I
don't think Scott was on here at all. Was he?
He was.
Oh, he was.
He was. I don't know if he's still out there or not, but.
Do you know? Because I can't comment or anything. So.
Kellie still thinks Facebook is the premium spot for her to get her message out to the people.
Okay. You want to fight about this?
No, I don't want to fight because I'm right and you're wrong.
I don't want to be in an echo chamber. I want to be the person that's stirring up comment and stirring up thinking. I don't want to be in an echo chamber.
Yeah, right. Okay, so I put a meme up and it was like a Mountain Dew bottle and then P. Diddy and then Trump and then P. Diddy and then a Mountain Dew bottle. So it's do a diddy dumb diddy do kind of meme, right? And it sparked some comments, right? Because people are like, well, that's not a good thing to do on your page because all these people are in Escambia County love Trump, right? Because I'm not calling them dumb. It's a funny meme.
Yeah.
It's funny, okay? But it sparked some conversation.
Right.
And so that is, I understand where you're coming from there with the echo chamber.
I do too.
And it's not that way 100% on truth. There is a lot of people starting to come in. I follow Gavin Newsom because I want to hear what his dumbass has to say. Yeah.
He's a genius.
That's the nicest thing you can say about him,
right.
Stan.
But I still want to hear what he has to say. I mean, he's probably going to be the next presidential candidate to, win that nomination. But there is some meaningful conversation. But there's a lot of blocking going on at Truth Social, but so is at Facebook. People get to there's no conversation.
Oh, people blocking each other.
Yeah, and it's like
what?
When I was out on the campaign trail,
you can block somebody who's being a douche or you don't like their opinion.
When I was out on the campaign trail, I found most people are willing to talk and have a conversation, in person. But when you get to typing and there's no consequence.
The keyboard warrior.
Oh, right.
When there's no consequence, and then there's misunderstanding because maybe you didn't get
context.
And so it does make it hard on any of the social media to have a real conversation. And so I understand your echo chamber, and I was really thinking that about Truth Social, but even on the right, there's still a lot of division
as we
on
talked
different
about
topics
in the local county
GOP
Republican executive committee.
Yeah, it's everything is divided.
Florida elections are clean and free and clean.
Sure,
free and fair and clean.
Fair and free.
I'm like, my ass, they are.
Yeah.
That was one of the things I loved about Jordan.
Yeah.
She goes, if we got machines, we've got.
I made that joke about.
Hey,
could Skynet hack into these machines?
What?
I made that joke at when they were testing the machines. I was like, can Skynet hack into these machines?
Carrie Lake got Crowder kicked off YouTube for 2 weeks because talking about the 2020 election fraud.
Well, he's about done with. I like Crowder. He's about done. Yeah, I think my favorite from Crowder so far is the abortion. Okay, right after Roe v. Wade, he was out on the street having the conversation with people, like a meaningful conversation.
Changed my mind.
Not just to change my mind, but he had a chart, and it's like, okay, here's the progression of a baby in the womb. Where would you draw the line, right? And
they couldn't.
A lot of people, it was difficult for some, but it was a meaningful conversation.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And those are the conversations after this election's all over, right? next year that we're really going to have to start sitting down and talk about. Like, where do you draw the line? You know, because it's not just yes or no. It's a much more complicated, situation. And then even some of the guys that are so staunch against it, it's like,
why do you say after the election?
Because they're not going to be able to tackle this. The state legislature doesn't even meet again till when, next year or something. So, unless they call an emergency meeting, unless the governor calls some emergency session. But it's these meaningful conversations that are going to tie into other things.
People go home and think about it.
Like responsible fatherhood is part of that conversation too. It's not just this one thing. It's not just a yes or no answer.
If you have the conversation in person, it runs through your head and it continues afterwards.
Right.
You go home and you lay down and you're like,
Yeah. Well,
think about it.
One of the guys I was talking to, and he's staunch, 100% zero abortion. It's because he's got some guilt from his decisions in that particular regard. And I love him, he's a good guy. But we got to sit down.
He's saying no in any way, shape, or form abortion.
Right.
Right. Okay, so we'll finish up with this conversation then, because that's something I brought up, right, Kelly, before.
Yes.
Where do you draw the line?
Where do you draw the line?
Yeah.
So
what I think one of the biggest chasm between the left and the right the biggest division is over abortion. It's probably the most volatile subject, and which I think is harmful.
Sure.
And the division is harmful. And so my point was, I was trying to make the point that if we could agree on the heartbeat bill, let's say, as the line, where do you draw the line? As the line. Would you, on the right, as a libertarian, or I think you're pro-life. I don't know. Or whatever. But either way, it doesn't matter what you are.
Sure.
Would you agree to that and then take the battle to, and I don't mean necessarily the battle, but then take your convictions to the private sector to do the rest through whatever form of activism, to either for pro-life or for pro-choice,
right?
So that we quit having that division, because abortion and gay marriage and legalizing marijuana and whatever all those are zero issues when it comes to the stability and the strength of the country. Do you agree with that?
I mean, I wouldn't. I think the drug war is the longest running war in American history, and that it is a lot of the root cause of the problem.
Okay, I'm okay with that going away too, but I'm just saying, if we can quit arguing about a couple of things, we can. The things that matter are, the Constitution being constitutional, and taxes, and less regulation, and you can't tell me everybody wants more regulation or more taxes.
God, I hope not.
I had somebody
shouldn't be so dang difficult.
I had somebody tell me, I said, would you agree that the right's more fiscally responsible, probably more fiscally responsible? I want to say this was before the 2012 election, Romney and Obama. And would you say that fiscal, that we have to be financially sound to have a strong country first? Yes, I agree with that. And, I agree with this, I agree with this, I agree with this, or I agree with that. And I'm like, so how are you going to vote? And he goes, I'm going to vote Democratic. I go, why? He goes, because I don't want my kids to have to pray in school, and I don't want Roe versus Wade overturned. And
Who makes people pray in school?
It will change if you vote Republican. It'll change.
Give me a break.
So all the social issues don't have anything to do with America being having a strong economy.
Strong economy. Yeah. I mean, you're talking about trade.
Or jobs or trade or...
But that's all the left cares about are the social issues. They don't care about a strong economy.
Well, I can speak on the economy a little bit here. And I think that a big factor has been left out when we do talk about the success of the economy.
Okay.
Is actually the drug market. It's marijuana. When I see my life and the progression of marijuana through my life, I see a young kid smoking brick Mexican weed. Bullshit. Terrible stuff, right?
Right.
All that money's leaking out. All that cash is leaking out of our country, going down to Mexico. Then I see the progression with Canada coming on board and British Columbia starting to grow the good stuff, right? And then that money's leaking out to Canada. And then I see the states start to come on board and legalize it little by little. And this is right around the time that the economy's starting to do well, because you have mom and pops flush with cash, and there's nothing to do with cash but spend it.
I can buy into that.
And that's money staying right here. Call it trickle down, whatever you want. That cash continues to float around right here in America.
Well, but all of our politicians are involved in the drug market anyway.
Well,
so
of course
they don't really
they are.
care if it stays here or not.
Well, no, they care that it doesn't stay here because they get their kickbacks.
Right.
They get their kickbacks
Correct.
from the cartels and God knows who
Correct,
else,
Mundo.
mafias.
What?
Yes.
And the pharmaceutical
Yeah,
companies.
come on. I mean, there's a movie about
Right.
that, I'm sure, right?
The government and drugs?
Golly.
Or 3 or 4?
Go watch through the Ozark, episodes, and then that'll tie in the nonprofit and how they're laundering all the money.
Right.
All our tax dollars are just laundering the cash.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. I mean,
Ooh,
this
I
is
wonder
this
if the
is how
Indian
politics
casinos
are
are
done.
just laundering operations.
Oh, I don't know. Let them have it. I don't care.
Thanks for being here.
No, thanks for having me, man. It's been a great conversation.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I'll look forward to doing it again.
Yeah,
We had a good night, I think.
yeah, absolutely.
It was good. Mm-hmm.
Kelly, thanks for making it.
Yes, you're welcome. Thank you.
I'll be thinking about this conversation for a couple of days.
Share it out there. Share it. In the meantime, get registered for PatriotTVLive.com so we can do this there. Maybe we can get, I wonder if they can, I'll have to ask them if there's any reason not to go to 2 hours so that we can go over the hour and a half like we did today by almost a half hour,
Yeah.
almost 2 hours.
Well, I mean, Joe Rogan's doing pretty good with that 3 hour, 4 hours sometimes, on Spotify.
Yeah, he does sit there and just go.
Yeah. I mean, it's meaningful to sit down for this longer period of time, and really hash some things out.
But, we got to know each other a little bit tonight.
Yeah.
And we'll continue to do that. I think we're in a lot of ways on the same page for
Sure.
things we'd like to see happen.
Yeah.
And maybe we can enact some of that change as
Well, like I said, you got to start looking at the local stuff because it's all going down, It's all going down right there in front of you, and you're just, not as many people are watching.
I don't know how we get the grassroots people in is the big question.
Well, we got to come up with a different way of choosing these candidates because I don't know. I don't see it working at the local level right now with the votes.
Well, the way you said the way the money,
Yeah, the money.
where the money comes from is,
I don't want to ask people for money
Right.
Free money.
You know what? You know what Jordan said? I said I'm going to go home tonight and donate $100. And last week, and she goes, you know what? I just want your vote.
Yeah.
I want your vote. That's what I want.
Let me earn your vote. Call me. Talk to me.
So,
you know.
I just I talked to her briefly, but I look forward to talking to her some more too.
Yeah.
It was a good show last week as well. But anyway, thank you for being here.
Yeah.
And Kellie, again, thank you.
Yeah.
Tell the fam hi. We'll see you. Not that we won't see you before then, but we're counting down the days to your arrival.
Okay. We are too, you know.
That sounded so sincere.
No, we really
Well,
are.
she's coming down for
Mark's like,
fun.
4 weeks.
I know she's coming down for fun, not to see you. Okay.
Yeah.
How do you know?
Well, it's that's just a perk.
Well, on the surface, I'm sure that's the answer. Anyway.
All right. You guys have
you
a
know
good
what,
weekend.
Kellie? I hope it is better weather. I mean, it's like the Amazon. It's the rainforest here.
It is.
Okay, just get it all out of the system.
Yeah, we're trying to get it out of the system. But
Yeah, we
Greg,
did
thank you.
Hurricane
Kellie,
Sandy
thank you.
2
Scott,
2 years ago.
AJ, David. That's who
Greg.
I saw. I thought I said Greg. But
I
yeah,
didn't.
Greg. We'll see you next week, guys. Appreciate you being here. Play Harder Radio at the Tel Staffing and HR Studios. Have a good weekend.
You
Thanks
too.
for having me.
To the American story. Stories about all the things that make America the country we know and love. It's important that the American story reaches as many people as possible. If you haven't done so already, please download a podcast app to your phone or tablet. Then subscribe to the American Story on that app. It's free. The app subscriptions push us up in the podcast rankings. The higher we go up, the more people are exposed to the American story, the more people that will download for the first time, and the podcast grows and grows. And we have been growing, so I want to say a big thank you to all of our subscribers. This is Chris Flannery with the Claremont Institute. I call this one Our Finest Hour. Sometimes it can help to know you're not alone. And as bad as history and civics education in America has become over the past half-century and the past few years, America is certainly not alone in the historical and civic ignorance being inflicted on its younger generations. I was reading recently the very good one-volume biography of Winston Churchill by Andrew Roberts. It's called Walking with Destiny. It's well worth reading, and in his conclusion, Roberts tells a story that shows that our educational misery has company. Churchill's mother was an American. He was a great champion of the American cause, and he became the first official recipient of honorary American citizenship in 1963 while he was still living. Since he was the greatest statesman of the 20th century, it does us honor to regard him as one of our own, and to regard historical remembrance or forgetting of Churchill as part of the American story. According to Andrew Roberts, in a study of British teenagers done a few years ago, 20% of them thought Winston Churchill, who was not just the greatest statesman but one of the most famous men in the 20th century, to be a fictional character. 58% of the teenagers surveyed, on the other hand, thought Sherlock Holmes to be a real person. 47% thought Eleanor Rigby was too. The most poignant chapters of the Churchill biography are naturally the ones focused on England and particularly London in 1940-41, when that city and its people and their heroic leader faced the prospect of annihilation in a way that made it in truth their finest hour, as Churchill called it. It was their finest hour because in the greatest crisis of the nation's history, when the odds were strong that they would be conquered and subjected by Adolf Hitler and his Nazi war machine, the people rose to display the greatest qualities of mind and character they had ever been called upon to display. I think we in America are in such a crisis now ourselves. Our greatest enemy is not the Chinese or the Russians or some other ambitious foreign tyranny, though they might indeed kill us if we continue so fecklessly to defend ourselves. But what will they kill? the body of a country that has lost its soul unless we do something about it. Our greatest enemy is the bad ideas that have miseducated Americans so thoroughly for so long that many of us have forgotten what it means to be a free people. We have forgotten what free government looks like, how it works, on what principles it is founded, how precious, rare, and fragile it is, and what virtues and sacrifices are needed to preserve it. We are as capable of losing our freedom as England was capable of losing the war against Nazi Germany. I don't think our odds are any worse than England's in 1940, but there is a critical difference. In 1940, England had America to turn to if all else failed. There is no America to turn to if we can't save this country from the anti-American orthodoxies that rule in our universities and most powerful media, and from which our cultural, intellectual, political, and even spiritual elite learn wholesale the corroding dogmas of critical race theory and identity politics that they retail 24 hours a day in every form available to them. What is the necessary response to this crisis? Good ideas must replace bad ideas. That is not glibness. It is the most fundamental thing. Better education at all levels, from graduate to undergraduate to high school and middle school. Education founded on the liberating principles of the American Revolution and founding, what Abraham Lincoln called the principles and axioms of free society. This is easy to say and will be very hard to achieve. It will take sustained, determined, even heroic effort, beginning in our homes and our families, extending out to our neighborhoods, churches, the schools our children attend, our local school boards, city and state departments of education. It will take political organization, electing the right people to office at every level, and conceiving and pushing the necessary legislation. It will take years. But there is no nobler cause available in the world we find ourselves in. With their courage and resolute refusal to give up the fight, the Britons of 1940-41 saved freedom and Western civilization from Nazi barbarism. It will take all the resolution and courage we can muster today to save American freedom from the barbarism that stalks us from within. If we do our duty in this crisis right now, future generations of Americans living in freedom will not be wrong to say of the greatest country in history that this was our finest hour. This is the work of the Claremont Institute, the most urgently important work in America. Join the fight and support us in every way you can. You'll be glad you did. Millions are joining you. We are not alone. Thanks for being part of the American story. This is Chris Flannery with the Claremont Institute. If you'd like to learn more about these stories or how you might support them, please visit our website at www.theamericanstorypodcast.org. That's theamericanstorypodcast.org.